Ever wake up from a dream and it's like, whoa, I just lived through a whole movie?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what if we could share those crazy dream experiences like in real time? What if, instead of just trying to tell someone about that epic dream, we could like bring them into it? And that's the wild possibility we're diving into today. We're taking a deep dive into this article from ndtv.com. It's called Scientists Claim Two People Communicated in Their Dreams Using Brainwaves.
Seriously?
Yeah, and it's about this company, RM Space, that's doing some seriously next-level stuff. I mean, they're saying they helped two people actually talk to each other while they were dreaming.
Okay, that's wild.
Right. So before we get, like, totally lost in the science fiction of it all, let's talk about, lucid dreaming.
Okay, so imagine you're dreaming, and you know you're dreaming while it's happening. That's lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
And it's like a really crucial part of this whole experiment because you actually need to be aware that you're dreaming to, consciously participate, right?
Exactly. And REM space, they needed people who were already like pros at this, folks who practically had their own dream passports, And according to the article, the experiment happened on September 24th, and they had these like seriously experienced lucid dreamers all hooked up to some serious brain monitoring tech.
Yeah.
Think sensors actually listening to your dreams in real time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wild, right?
Yeah. What's so fascinating here is that this system was designed to pick up on the very specific brainwave patterns that happen when you're lucid dreaming. So it's not just about detecting that someone's asleep. It's about actually identifying when someone is like actively aware within the dream state.
Okay, so how does the system actually know when someone's entered a lucid dream? Like, are there flashing neon signs in our brains that say, we've got a lucid dreamer over here?
Mm-hmm. Well, not quite neon signs, but pretty close. You see, during lucid dreaming, our brain activity changes in a very distinct way. And the system was trained to recognize those very specific changes. So it's kind of like, teaching a computer to recognize a fingerprint.
Right.
And once it detected those, those telltale lucid dreaming patterns, things got really interesting.
All right, so we've got our dream team. They're all hooked up. The system's all fired up, and they're off in dreamland. Then what?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. So the system sees that the first participant has entered a lucid dream state. Now imagine this. They're deep in dreamland.
Right.
And the researchers, they transmit a word through earbuds to the participant.
Hold on. They're piping words directly into someone's dream. Were they, worried about accidentally waking them up or something?
That's the thing. They had to do it in a way that didn't disrupt the dream state. They had to really carefully control the volume and the timing, to make sure the word was subtle enough to be a part of the dream without being, jarring.
Wow. Talk about walking a tightrope in the brain. Okay, so they whispered this word into this dreamer's ear. What happened next? Did they suddenly wake up with a craving for gibberish?
Not quite. The participant actually heard the word clearly within their dream and even repeated it out loud. And all of this, of course, was captured by those brain monitoring sensors.
So they're having a conversation with a scientist in their sleep using a made-up language. That's some serious Inception level stuff. But what about the other dreamer? Were they able to, receive this word as well?
And that's the really mind-blowing part. A little while later, the second participant's brain activity, it showed those same telltale signs, like they were lucid dreaming too. So the system, right on cue, sends the word their way.
No way. So both of them are hearing this random word in their dreams without, ever consciously knowing what it was beforehand. So did REM space, create a whole dictionary for this REMio language, or was one word enough for this experiment?
Yeah, one word was actually enough for this experiment, but it really opens up some seriously fascinating questions. Because if you can transmit a single word, what about a whole phrase, right? A sentence. I mean, could we eventually have entire conversations in our sleep using a language only our subconscious minds understand?
Whoa, before we spiral down this rabbit hole of dream linguistics here, let's get back to our participants. So the second dreamer, they hear the word. Then what?
Well, just like the first participant, the second one, they heard the word clearly in their dream and then repeated it out loud. And then get this, they both woke up, and here's the real kicker. The second participant was able to actually confirm that they had heard the word while they were asleep.
Hold on. Okay, I need a minute to process this. So they managed to transmit a specific word from one person's dream to another person's dream. And both people actually remembered it when they woke up. This is way beyond anything I could have imagined.
It's definitely a huge step, but, as with all groundbreaking research, we have to be cautious, right?
Yeah.
Because this is just one study. And while the results are, incredibly exciting, they still need to be replicated by other scientists, to really confirm what REM space has observed.
Right, of course, of course.
Yeah.
It's easy to get, carried away with all the possibilities here, but we need to make sure this is the real deal. This isn't just some, like, scientific dream, right?
Yeah.
But even if it's, early days, potential applications of this are, well, there's no other word for it, mind-blowing. I mean, the article mentions everything from, like, revolutionizing mental health treatment to unlocking totally new ways to learn. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi novel.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're stepping into, like, the world of science fiction, right? Imagine a world where, like, instead of dreading that stressful presentation at work, you could actually practice it repeatedly in your sleep and then, like, wake up feeling totally confident and prepared. Or imagine being able to help someone, like, overcome a phobia, but in a safe, controlled dream environment. We really might just be scratching the surface here of what's possible.
It's like REM Space's CEO, Michael Raduga, said in the article, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said that communicating in dreams, it might seem like, sci-fi today, but tomorrow it could be as normal and, like, as common as texting.
And he's not wrong, to be honest. I mean, think about how much technology has changed even in the last, like, few decades. If we were to tell someone 30 years ago that we'd be carrying around, like, pocket-sized supercomputers capable of accessing basically any piece of information, like, instantly, they'd probably think we were dreaming.
He's got a point there.
Yeah.
So what's next for, like, dream communication? What are the big questions scientists are trying to answer now?
Well, I mean, this first experiment and focused on just, like, transmitting a single word, right? But the possibilities for future research, they're kind of endless. Like, can we send more complex information, Yeah. Could we share, like, images, emotions, even entire sensory experiences?
Right.
And what about the potential for, like, learning and problem solving within dreams?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could we actually tap into the subconscious mind to, to unlock, like, new levels of creativity or even find solutions to really complex problems? It's fascinating to think about.
Yeah. Like, we're opening up this whole new channel of communication, and not just between, like, two different people, but, like, within ourselves, But if we could one day send more than just, like, a word or two, it does make you wonder, could this technology be, like, I don't know, used in ways we haven't even thought of yet?
Oh, absolutely. Like, with any new technology, there are always going to be, like, challenges and important considerations, right? I mean, it's crucial that any kind of research in this area is done really ethically and responsibly.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely a lot to consider. It's exciting to think about all the possibilities while also, like, realizing we're just starting to, dip our toes into this huge ocean of discovery.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole area of research so captivating. It really pushes the boundaries of what we thought was possible and kind of forces us to ask some really big questions about, about the nature of consciousness, communication, and the crazy untapped potential of the human mind.
Well said.
Wow.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today into the world of dream communication, I'm left with one final kind of mind-boggling question for everyone listening out there.
Yeah.
What if this experiment, as cool as it is just the very beginning? What if those little whispers of Zelak are really like the first signals, the first faint whispers of a whole new language, a language of dreams? What will we discover when we learn to speak it?